Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I've got some good news for you about Call of Duty, which is crazy to say because the last 10 videos I've had to make like this were profoundly negative, but all of that criticism, all of that negativity, and all of the push from you, the community, has paid off. Call of Duty has made some very good and very major decisions that will impact every single game in the franchise or the brand as a whole. And again, it's community driven. You guys ask for this. You push for this on TikTok, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Reddit, a variety of YouTube videos and YouTube comments and streams. You, the community, fought hard for these changes. I think fought might be the right word. You demanded these changes, and Activision caved to the pressure. We are finally starting to get some of the things that we wanted, and I'm going to go ahead and give you the top 3 good changes that came this week. Number 1 is that API access has been restored, so you can see your stats online. Previously, that's been off for 2 or 3 weeks, and cheaters can no longer hide behind the API access wall. Number 2 is that serious changes are on the way for anti-cheat. They announced that they're putting a lot more money and resources into this. They're taking it seriously. They're doing community dialogue. So while the cheats may not be gone, we are on the right path to getting rid of cheaters, along with a massive ban wave that came out too. And then finally, League play is coming back to Call of Duty, which may include a change to skill-based matchmaking of all things. I can't believe I'm saying that. I thought they were just going to leave that in stone until the end of time. But these are 3 really big changes. I think they're all great decisions that's going to make Call of Duty better. And in a rare moment on this channel, instead of offering criticism, I'm going to offer a compliment to the Activision overlords and their benevolent decisions for this past week. I think that this is a very positive step, not only for the health of the game, but also in terms of community relations. So let's jump into the details of what happened. You guys remember about a month ago when SBMM Warzone.com got popular? You remember when popular streamers were accused of cheating because some of the best players in the world only got bronze lobbies? And then do you remember when Activision decided to cripple the API for privacy reasons so that we couldn't see any of this? Pepperidge Farm remembers, and so do I. I had a lot of criticism for Activision at the time, both in videos here and in private. A lot of DMs flying around. And I think that crippling the API helped hide cheaters, and it helped hide people that were abusing the matchmaking system much more than it helped anybody's privacy. And the analogy I used at the time was it was like sweeping dust under a rug. Well, according to this social media post and subsequent press release, CodTracker.gg is now officially working with Activision, and the API is fully restored. The website is back online, functioning, and you can see everybody's stats once again. I decided to test it out by looking up my own stats, and to the best of my ability to tell, they're fully functional. They're there. I didn't need to change any settings or anything, and there's nothing hidden. That means that we can get our stat tracking back going on. All our little apps and widgets that we've been using for streamers are good, but most importantly, we can look for cheaters. If we suspect a streamer or a person in our lobby is cheating, we can quickly look them up and see if they are based on their publicly available stats. And I think this is a very positive step for identifying people not only using hacks, but also abusing the matchmaking system. And on the topic of abusing the matchmaking system, now that the stats are back online, we as the community are now once again free to experiment with various skill-based matchmaking workarounds to see if we can circumvent that system. But we're going to talk about that more in just a moment. Next up today, Raven Software put out a statement saying that they had no tolerance for cheaters and that they banned 60,000 accounts. Good. I'm glad. I'm actually ecstatic. I just don't handle human emotions very well. It's about time. They put out a massive article talking about all of their measures. I'm not just going to read the article word for word because that's boring. They listed about 20 different things that they're working on as anti-cheat measures, but some of the top ones were weekly security updates, which is a good one because this should make it harder for the cheaters to keep updating their little hacks. Most importantly, in my opinion, is increased resources for the anti-cheat team. They have finally allocated funding, real American dollars, perhaps more employees, perhaps more robust tools, maybe even outsourcing it to already existing parties, something, money, real resources that's going to go into the anti-cheat program so that it can get more robust and try to stay ahead of the cheaters and just get rid of more of them. And then finally, just general software coding side enhancements to the minimal anti-cheat software that's in existence. Right now, the anti-cheat software is like a guy who hasn't lifted weights in 10 years, and they're going to put him on a very advanced One Punch Man schedule and get that going. So hopefully in a couple of months, the anti-cheat system is going to be pretty buff. They announced a whole ton of other things, including weekly community dialogue, which is way overdue in my opinion, and it's a pretty massive list. This is another positive step forward that I'm very happy to see, and at the very least, they're starting to acknowledge that cheating is a real problem, because before it just seemed like they wanted to be ostriches and bury their head in the sand and pretend it didn't exist. There are some downsides to this. Even though it's a really positive video, I have some criticism today. The number one downside is that lots of innocent people got banned in that first wave. My inbox right now, all my open DM places like Discord and stuff, and my business email are all flooded full of people saying that they got banned for no reason. One of the things that I've seen in common across most of these accounts is that most of them had their account compromised at some point in the past and they recovered it, and quite a few of them don't seem to have turned on the two-factor authentication that you can now enable in the settings. I have talked to I don't even know how many people that have had problems from all walks of life. College students, there's a disabled person, there's a veteran here, a frontline worker there, a lot of people, good, kind people that you don't want shafted. They got totally shafted on this. And if you're one of those people, I want to tell you, don't email me. I literally have no power to fix this. I've tried like 4 or 5 times for my fans. I've emailed everybody that I know at Activision and Treyarch and other places. And none of the people that I know have the power or authority to undo a ban. That's just not within my skill set. I've tried. I've genuinely tried to help you guys. I can't. The best I can tell you to do is begrudgingly work with Activision Assist. And the second bad thing about this is that 60,000 players being banned and more measures is just the start. It's not a solution. At the very least, it's a band-aid. It's one drop in a gigantic bucket that needs to be filled. 60,000 cheaters got banned, well, 60,000 new accounts were just made. Somebody even made a service status for cheats. It's like a website you can go to, kind of like Down Detector, or like, is Twitter down? What servers are down? It has a whole list of various Call of Duty cheats, and it shows you which ones are up and down. As of today, a lot of them have been updated and are back online. The cheating community is very strong. They're not going to go down easily, and this is not a fix. If you get on and play Warzone or Modern Warfare or Cold War right now, you're still going to run into cheaters, but at least we're heading in the right direction. Thank goodness we finally have an acknowledgement of the problem, and we're taking steps to fix it. That's sometimes one of the hardest parts. It's kind of like working out. Usually starting the workout is the hardest part. I think that starting to fix the cheating problem is going to be the hardest part compared to actually fixing it. And then finally today, League play is coming back to Black Ops Cold War. This is something I'm very excited about. God, I loved playing Black Ops 2 League play. 3 and 4 League play were pretty rough. 4 got better later on, but I think that this is an opportunity for the sweatiest players to go be in their own playlist and let casual players do casual things. We can keep public matches casual, and League play is, you should sweat it up. You shouldn't play casually in League play. God, I still miss Black Ops 2 League play. Now, I think that's good news just from a content update standpoint, but I do have a conspiracy kind of idea about this. This one is not factual. I have no evidence about this. I have no inside intel about this. I wasn't at the roundtable meeting in the bottom of a hollowed out volcano that happened last Tuesday. I missed that when there was a scheduling conflict, so I really don't know. What I do know is that if I were Activision or Treyarch or whoever's in charge of the CoD brand, what I would do is I would alter skill-based matchmaking for public matches. Of course, you have strict skill-based matchmaking in ranked League play, but in public matches, this would be an opportunity to relax it and see what happens. If I was at Activision, this is exactly the kind of experiment that I would run, and I would absolutely never announce it to the public, because then you'll skew all of your data with people doing weird things. And I think that this is possible. I know a lot of game companies do various tests for a week, a weekend, certain day, certain groups of people, whatever. It's never been confirmed to me, but wouldn't be surprising if Activision did the same thing on occasion to test the robustness of their various algorithms. It would be the perfect time to see what happens if we give in to the community demand and loosen up skill-based matchmaking. Does it hurt player retention? Does it hurt microtransaction sales? What actually happens when we have a low skill matching and a high skill matching playlist separation? I would do that test if I were in charge, and I know that there are people working at this company much more intelligent than me, so it would not surprise me if we get a significant change to skill-based matchmaking sometime soon. Overall, these were great updates. What I love about them is that they're 100% community driven. Every single thing that I mentioned today is something that we as a community have been pitching fits about for the last 6 months to a year. We asked for these things, we demanded for these things, and of all the protests and hate and messages and threats and various bad stuff that happened around the COD community, do you know what really changed things? Is when people stopped playing. I'm telling you, we had a couple of high-profile streamers quit. I quit playing COD primarily because of my stupid shoulder over here, but we had players dropping like flies, and all of a sudden Activision's listening. Changes are coming. So I'm very happy with the community for finally taking that step. I've been telling people for 10 years, if you hate COD, just play a different game. That burns them more than anything. And I'm happy with the good faith start from Activision. From a giant company, corporate perspective where communication on an individual level is difficult, this is the best you're going to get. This is what good faith communication and good faith actions works or looks like. And my advice to you, my little pro tip here, is that if you like any of these changes that you've heard about, I think you guys should go and leave the main account some compliments. They're going to get noticed. I know that sounds like the most shill-tacular sellout thing on the planet, but I know the peoples that run all of these various accounts and manage their social medias. I've seen the back end. It's like 99% vitriol and hate and nasty stuff all the way down. And I watch them like scroll and see a compliment and just stop and read the whole thing. If you want your message to be heard, you should tell them which of these things that you think was done right, which one of these things helped you, and that's going to get noticed way more than all the nasty stuff. I know it's shilly, I know it's sellouty, it seems like a PR campaign, but I promise you it's going to work. So go ahead and go tell the main accounts what about this update you actually enjoyed, or if you didn't enjoy any of it, I suppose that's fine too. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something useful, and hope Call of Duty shapes up in a couple of days. So when I finally get better later this week-ish, maybe, I can come back and play a great game. Drifter out.